What's up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show, episode 229. And first thing first, I want to be able to thank Marty and the Television for making the show possible, and also TCCC, who, by the way, is closed down right now. Further information on that, you can always look on the Access Tucson website. Is that still up? Yes, I believe it is still up. But if you haven't, you're looking for any information on the status and the hours of operation for TCCC, which is Public Access Headquarters, you can look it up on the website, Access Tucson. But anyways, hopefully we'll be reopening pretty soon. But until then, we're doing YouTube, which is still another form of communication that was unheard of 20 years ago. Excuse me. Okay, first thing first, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. A couple weeks ago, the Barack Obama administration, they have been juggling so many different issues with immigration, healthcare reform, the war on terror, the economic situation in the U.S., the recession, the unemployment, price of gas, the pharmaceutical companies doing whatever they can to get richer. Same goes for oil companies. But here we go, guys. It's official. Since this is going to be at the end of 2010, there will be no more U.S. space program headed by NASA that controls the space shuttle program. So for the first time since John Glenn first flew in Earth orbit in 1962, the U.S. will have no access of its own for humans into space, and none more action will be taken for the foreseeable future. Meaning that Barack Obama had basically telling the international world and community, especially Russia and China, and said, it's okay, you guys can go ahead and be number one in space exploration. Okay, and here's what two other things come into play. Us humans and American citizens will still be able to go in orbit once the private sector gets a control of itself of the situation. Because if you remember correctly, Richard Branson, I believe he has one of those rocket planes that go into Earth orbit. You pay so much, and you're basically an astronaut without the training. But anyways, Richard Branson is one of them. Now, I read now there's more than 24 different companies around the world that's doing that. So I think Barack Obama is saying if the private sector wants to keep going up and space exploration, including the U.S. private sector, which means all businesses and corporations, feel free. Because NASA now has a new goal that Barack Obama has set into motion that makes it easy for NASA to continue. And NASA's mission now is now changed. It's going to be the only goal NASA has for the next 20, 30 years is to get a man on Mars. Enough U.S., no more U.S. Government space program. Now we're going to be concentrating on getting U.S. citizens, U.S. astronauts on the planet Mars, which, by the way, I believe is 35 million miles away. But it's a sad day because there's a senator by the name of Richard Shelby. He had a quote. President Obama proposed NASA budget begins the death march for the future of U.S. human spaceflight. He is correct when he says that, but once again, private sector which is the corporations and small businesses, they can take over now. They can, you know, if I had enough money, I will call up Richard Branson and say, hey, call me crazy and I always wanted to be an astronaut for 5 minutes. Oh, possible. Just give me $1 million. I write a check out, go out to California where I guess the Virgin Airways have their headquarters, and he'll personally meet you out there, I think. And you get into this rocket spaceship thing, and you get to go up in the air. I have to look up into this now because I didn't realize I'll be touching onto that subject. Which brings me to the fact of the future. Okay, so what if one day there are so many different private sector corporations sending people up for vacations? Eventually you'll be able to stay up there longer without the assistance of the U.S. government, which is kind of scary. But it's a sad day because Barack Obama has a lot of weight on his shoulder, and he's trying to find a resolution to all these problems, and he really can't do it by himself. But that's it for that. Alrighty. Okay, now what I'm going to talk about next. It's going to be very frightening. It's very true. And it's going to be very hurtful for everybody out there in TV land who's going to hear me talk about this next issue that I have researched, and it's all true. Which is not a very... this is not a good thing. Here we go. Okay, we got a guy named Dennis Blair. Dennis Blair is the director of National Intelligence. He shocked Washington last week when he told a congressional committee that U.S. spy agencies have the authority to assassinate American citizens abroad and other countries who are believed to be involved with terrorism. What? I'm speechless because how many times we have known that the U.S. government make countless mistakes. You know, how do I not know, say I'm visiting Germany, and for some reason they believe that I'm a terrorist and they murder me, my own people murder me in Germany and then left me there. And it turned out that they were wrong, I'm really innocent. Those are the kind of situations that are going to keep popping up. Excuse me. So when I read that, it sent chills down my spine because it gets, in a way I have to agree with it, and the way half of me doesn't agree with it is that line that says that the U.S. spy agencies have the authority to assassinate American citizens abroad who are believed to be involved with terrorism. So all I gotta say, for you safety people out there who I love very much, if you're in another country and you're an American citizen, for the love of God, please do not get yourself involved with terrorism. Because chances are there's going to be a U.S. sniper perch on the rooftop on the building across from you at the hotel room in Prague. And you're going to be talking to one of your Al-Qaeda people or one of your terrorist people. And before you know it, the sniper took out your left eyeball and the back of your brain is splattered all over the bathroom wall. So that's my advice for people out there in foreign land. Okay, here's a fact thing I found, not disturbing, because unfortunately I too, just like everybody else, and suffering from this economic downturn, recession, quote unquote bullshit thing that's going on with the economy. But here's a number I'm going to throw at you. 38.8. Okay, 38.8, which is almost 40. That is the number of jobs that were funded by the U.S. federal stimulus money per every 1,000 unemployed Americans during the last quarter of the year 2009. As of January 22nd of this year, $268 billion of the stimulus had been spent on the percentages of 30.8 per 1,000. Those numbers do not match, I think. Because you got to remember, 38 jobs out of 1,000, you still got 942 people who are still looking for jobs. Okay, and from what I remember, the unemployment rate in this country is, I think, almost a million. So the fact that 40 out of every 1,000 people who were unemployed got some money for a job that totaled $268 billion, what I want to know, what did they spend it on? That's almost $300 billion they spent on making sure 40 Americans out of 1,000 got a job, while the rest still floundered and looked for a job. Unbelievable, people. Here's a sad reminder of the U.S. state. 20% of all U.S. suicides in this country are committed by veterans. And by veterans, these are people who come back from war, whoever that came back from Vietnam and Korean War, Afghanistan, Iraq, Kosovo, Somalia. These veterans make up almost 1/5 of all U.S. suicides in the country. And the saddest part is that veterans in this country only make up 8% of the U.S. population. So the government got to do a better job on stopping these suicides among these veterans. Cause you got to remember, these veterans are coming back from the front line infantry. They're sergeants, they're lieutenants, and they're fighting, and they're risking their lives for us. Because in the end, they didn't die for anything. They didn't die for nothing out there. They died for us. They died for us. And Call Me Crazy, the show, would always like for you people to remember that. And I know that because you guys watch Call Me Crazy. Okay, and how about this? A signs of the bad times that we live in. 1 in every 8 American, okay, 1 in every 8 American is on food stamps. Sad number. Okay, and then here's another number I'm going to throw at you. Okay, have you, I know you have done this, people out there in TV La La Land. You go out there looking for your job hunting, you have application, your resume. Excuse me. Your resume, and you go out and hand it, or you do it online, or you do it at the computer kiosk at the place. What I found out, all the people who screen all the applicants and applications for jobs, the Human Resources Department and all the jobs all over the country, 70% of all those job applications were thrown out only because for having inappropriate material in their online social networking profiles. So if you have MySpace, Facebook, and all that, and I believe I have some of that too. But like a smart person, I don't put any inappropriate stuff on there. only because we're respectable members of society, and this is how the business is run. When you're in television, it's all serious, professional. But I have seen some of my friends. I have seen some of my friends' pictures for MySpace and blah blah and all that, and some of them, some of the lady friends I have who I have seen, they're kind of risque, and then and you know what I'm talking about. But 70% say that all U.S. human resources officers end up throwing the application away because when they see inappropriate material. Just wanted to let you guys know that, because that's what this show is about, me helping you. Alrighty, if you don't know who J.D. Salinger was, he was a great American writer. He passed away at the age of 91 on January 27th. And he is the man who's responsible for writing one of the most influential books in the past 100 years, which, by the way, Marty has read it, I believe. Catcher in the Rye. Everybody knows Catcher in the Rye was also the same book that Mark David Chapman used to shoot John Lennon. And then John William Hinckley, the guy who shot President Reagan, he had a copy in the hotel room. But besides the fact, I read Catcher in the Rye. It was when I read it, and when I read it 20 years ago, I thought it was dated then. So I might have to read it again. But anyways, yeah, he had passed away. And then three more things I want to talk about. Oh yeah, last thing I'm going to talk about is the Jay Leno Conan O'Brien fiasco. What I had thought, forget Jay Leno, forget Jay Leno, forget Conan O'Brien, Coco, forget it, and just fucking put me and Marty in there. Marty, the king of public access, will take over the Tonight Show, and I take over for the Late Show. Got it? Good. Well, I'm just kidding. Hey, I love Jay Leno, I love Conan O'Brien, but damn, Jay Leno, you can be such a prick. Bye! June 29th. What's up? What's up, Tucson, Arizona? Tucson, Arizona. This is Call Me Crazy Show, episode 229. Gonna begin with thanking, like I always do, Marty and the End of Television, and of course T-Triple-C. Enough of that. I've been doing a lot of research lately, and I found a couple of things that I thought that was it would be interesting if I told you guys about it. The Big Bang is a theory that what billions 14 billion years ago there was a Big Bang, and it created the universe and galaxies and everything we know about it. But here's that thing that tripped me out the most. During the Big Bang, you gotta remember, the Big Bang, when it happened, it was instantaneously. It was get the second, and it blew up. But anyways, in the first trillionth of a second of the creation of the Big Bang, the temperature of the universe was 18 billion trillion degrees Fahrenheit. One more time, guys, okay? During the Big Bang, in the first trillionth of a second of its creation of the Big Bang, the temperature of the universe was 18 billion trillion degrees Fahrenheit, which is that's a pretty amazing number because I didn't think there was a number that existed like that. But apparently, it's 18 billion trillion. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then here's the thing that got me the most. All the elements on Earth, or where we live, including all the elements in your body, were produced in stars. So how about that for a mind fart, which I think is pretty cool, because I always thought I was from Mars, you know. But another thing, the first time humans walked the Earth was 1 million years ago. So we've been around that long. Alrighty, okay. A couple things I want to talk about too. Oh man. Oh, well, I'll get to it later. But anyways, I was reading the paper today, this morning. I won't say what newspaper I was reading, but I came across a article, and here it goes. The title of the article was "Being Bored Can Be Bad for Health." Apparently, these groups of scientists and doctors perform a study on wide ranges of people for X amount of years. It turns out the ones who were bored most of their lives were 2.5 times more likely to die of a heart problem. So that means if you are always bored, snap out of it, because you're not prolonging your life, it says. So basically, you got to read books, do puzzles, do walks, do exercise, watch TV, informational TV, TV that educates you. I try to watch the correct PBS channels. So if you're bored, snap out of it, because it looks like if you're bored, you're twice as likely to die from a heart disease. So you know what that means? I'm never going to die of heart disease because I am never bored. The only time I'm ever bored is maybe never. I am never bored. There's always something to do, always something to read. You can... I have so many different activities I do. It's only because I know how to utilize my time. So hopefully you people out there in La La Land are not being bored, because like I said, it's bad for your health. Okay, I've been wanting to talk about this for quite a while now. Now this is something I haven't talked about. Okay, universal health care. In other countries, it's a topic they do not talk about, because basically there's nothing to talk about, because their healthcare system that's being run by places like Britain and France, especially Europe and other countries, they have universal health care for everybody, which in turn helps everybody, which creates jobs, make the people live longer, everyone take care of themselves. But here in the U.S., it is a different story. Yes, I know there's almost 300 and so many million people living in America, and I understand that there will be a lot of people to put on health care, and basically the only way nowadays in the U.S. you can only afford health care through your employer, which is a big amount, a big percentage of all Americans who work only get medical coverage because of their job offers those benefits. And the other group who can get the health insurance are the ones who are so poor that the government issues them onto their government-run medical system, which is only for the poor. You have to qualify. And so now you got all, and I understand all that. I just wish one day, I remember in the early 90s, Clinton was talking about healthcare reform. He was trying to do the, remember he had that universal health card. You know, that was a fiasco that year. Hillary Clinton tried to help out with that. Didn't work. That was 17 years ago, as a matter of fact. And here we are still, the kid can't get their proper care and medicine only because their parents make too much, or there are so many different eligibility requirements for everything that the government got to offer for you to get the insurance, or the company that you work for, you know, they'll have to pay 2/3 of the benefits while you do 1/3, or however system it is that they do it. The point is that it makes me sad because we're the greatest country in the world. We can do anything. You can come to the country and you can be the Tonight Show host, like Conan, and or you could be like Danica Patrick and run NASCAR, or you could be like George Lopez and be a Latin comedic superstar, or you could be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, come from Austria, and become governor of California. The point is, we live in the greatest country in the world, and I find myself in disbelief that there are so many people who I know out here in town who can't afford health insurance only because they can't afford it because of work or the eligibility requirements are whatever. And I know that Barack Obama's administration been trying to do something for that, but there is so much fucking bickering and backstabbing up in Washington. And I give credit to Obama, who was trying to change stuff around in there. But it seems to me that the bureaucracy and the tone of Washington will always be there no matter, it will always be there even when Barack Obama leaves. It's only because it's so entrenched into the psyche of these politicians and lawmakers and lobbyists and people who had no business who are running our country. So there was a lot of politicians who were saying, "Let's cut health care." You know, the Governor Jan Brewer of this wonderful state of ours of Arizona, doing a horrible job, by the way. She wants to do away with medical insurance for over 310,000 Arizonans. And what the fuck does she care? She has her own health coverage. So, you know, it's all good for the politicians and lawmakers and lobbyists and all the capitals in every single state in the country, because they're the ones who are really taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of us. And I read a quote a week ago in a paper where this 82-year-old lady who cannot afford her medication, she says every week she has a dilemma whether she's going to buy enough food to last for the week or buy all the prescriptions she needs for the week. So she said she ends up using her money for half of the prescriptions and half the food. So she said she needs half the medicine all the time, and then she said she needs food. She's hungry all the time because she's not eating enough. And I think the tape is about to play out, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to keep talking. Blinking, we're good? Anyways, so I just want to be able to say, hopefully in my lifetime one day, all my kids and everybody who I know will have universal life insurance here in the U.S. Because the way I see it is a God-given right if you're an American. You should not have to pay $88 for 4 pills if you're a diabetic or cancer patient. You shouldn't have to pay $12 a pill for every day for 30 days for 50 years. You should not have to pay for that if you are working or you have contribute to society in a way where it gives back to the community. I know everything I say is theoretical. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. But man, come on, U.S. It's 2010 for crying out loud. You know, you guys should have been working on this healthcare before Clinton tried to do it in the early 90s. Healthcare should have been, it should be the primary issue for us U.S. citizens. You know, and the immigration problem, forget about it. We're spending too much time and resources on the immigration problem, and we're tending to forget us real U.S. citizens. So, like I said, God bless Barack Obama and the administration. They're trying to change stuff up, but doesn't seem like it's working. But anyways, Barack Obama's first year came and went. I gotta say, it was a better, uplifting year compared to the Bush years. The Bush year was a lot of tension. You know, we had Dick Cheney as the emperor running the country and George Bush as Darth Vader. But anyways, that's the past. But hopefully we'll be back on TCCC Public Access pretty soon. Maybe next week we'll have a discussion. I wanted to have a discussion on the Bible, guys. I know I had talked about a lot about biblical subjects, but I had never talked about the Bible itself. But anyways, the nominations came in for the Oscars. Of course, Avatar is up there for Best Picture. It might win. I would like to see District 9 win for Best Picture. But anyways, have a good night. And you know what? I thought the Colts were going to win the Super Bowl, but they didn't. So kudos to Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. I don't know what else to say, guys. Oh yes. Hopefully we're gonna have a snippet of a movie on this episode with the song, and we're gonna try to recreate a segment that we used to do 10 years ago. Until then, love you guys in Tucson, Arizona. Tucson is the greatest city in the fucking world. Late. Long live Cardinals. What's up, Tucson, Arizona? I can't believe I'm saying this, but welcome back. Call Me Crazy show back on the air with the End Television and the rest of the Zoo crew at Public Access. First thing first, I have some good news. I guess it's all good news. I guess we're gonna be reopening pretty soon. We'll be Tucson Public Access will be going back on the air March 23rd, which is next week, coming up, and you'll be able to see new episodes of Call Me Crazy and the television. But there's a catch. Apparently, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm for it if it means keeping public access up and running and alive. Is Channel 12, which is the, I believe the U of A Pima College one. I'm not sure. I know it's U of A, but Channel 12 is also the city channel, I think, that does the local, they showed the city council hearings, I believe, and a lot of local government procedures and whatnot. So they're gonna be combining stations with public access in downtown Tucson. And that should say a lot. But anyways, I'm just glad to be back on the air. Missed you guys. It's been a wild 7 weeks without you guys. Uh, there's the thing that gets to me is that why are we even having discussions about the merging of Channel 12 with public access? I know it means it'll keep the funding alive, but if it ain't broken, why fix it? And I just hope it all goes well. The merger, if you will. But it also means that a lot of money is going to be combined for the funding. Now, for funding for both will be combined, I believe, in one general funding source. I wanted to say City Council Member Glassman. I don't remember his first name because I don't want to. But anyways, he was the one who opposed funding for public access and Tucson Public Access. He was the one who voted against it. And anyway, I just want to say that Glassman, you're an idiot. You even had a quote attributed to you that was in a Tucson paper that you said you guys had spent 70 minutes talking about public access when you thought it was not an issue. But hey, buddy, it's my life, and everyone lives here at public access. So don't act like it's nothing. If it's not a part of a community, it is, butthead. But there were several things I want to talk about. It's been more now than a year since Barack Obama has been president. There's been a drop in his popularity, polls and whatnot that they have in Washington. You got to remember too, he's only been in office for a year, and things cannot get fixed within a year. He had 8 years of wrongdoing by Bush that he has to do. So you can't undo 8 years of Bush in 1 year. So I hope both Democrats and Republicans will get onto the idea that it's gonna get better. But anyways, on the subject of the Republicans and Democrats, I have read that Rush Limbaugh, who's a diehard Republican, doesn't believe in global warming. I mean, I know people who don't believe in it. I know people who do believe in it. And then you got people, big fat idiots, like Rush Limbaugh, who is convinced that global warming it gets sensationalized media shitstorm. He thinks it's all made up by the media and whatnot. And the subject about the Rush Limbaugh that I don't like is that a lot of people tend to watch and hear his radio show, and he has a lot of influence. And the fact that he thinks that global warming a rumor, myth, and he condemns people who actually believe in global warming. So Rush Limbaugh, all I gotta say is that you're a fucking idiot, and you're a fat one at that. So you can suck my cock, Rush Limbaugh. And it just feels good to be saying this stuff now because I haven't been on the air in a fucking long fucking time. Okay, I'm sorry for all the swearing. I just had to say all that. Second thing I wanted to talk about is Oscars came and went. I know there's 2 wars going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and believe me, I pray for them every day. But I am a movie fanatic. I know a couple people who are movie fanatics, but I just absolutely cannot live without my movies. I see at least 2 movies a day, at least. If I seen it before, that's alright. I always get a different perspective on movie that I've seen when I was younger. But anyways, I love to see who wins Oscars. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to watch the Oscars due to the fact that due to the fact I was not in Tucson. That's my best excuse. But anyways, I could not see the Oscar telethon that night because of several reasons, which I'm not going to get into. But the night of the televised Oscars, I remember thinking I had read the nominees. I have known who the nominees were, but I was just hoping like for the craziest upset. Because for all you people out there who love movies, you all know that District 9 was nominated for Best Picture, and I love District 9. It's made by a newcomer set in Johannesburg, but I knew it didn't have a chance in hell winning the Best Picture at the Oscars. But I was just hoping, you know. So the next morning, my only way to find out who I won the Oscars was I had to wait the following morning. So the following morning, I had got up real early, like 5:30, and I had asked for the morning paper. And while I was getting the morning paper, my friend said to me, first thing she said out of her mouth, she saw The Hurt Locker. And I had for all night I was thinking that I bet it's gonna be Avatar. I want to wake up in the morning and it's gonna be James Cameron, Best Director, Best Picture, Best Special Effects, which it did win. But I was thinking it's gonna sweep the whole thing. And I love James Cameron, his work in Terminator 1 and 2, and Aliens and True Lies. Those are classic pictures. But I didn't think I haven't seen Avatar, but I just didn't want it to sweep the Oscars. So when my friend, she says, Hurt Locker, I could not believe it. And then I said best actor, and she had said Jeff Bridges. I couldn't believe it. And then best actress, Sandra Bullock winning. I could not believe that. I could have swore it was going to be somebody else. I just thought that her being nominated for best actress was a fluke, but apparently not. She freaking won. And then best director was Catherine Bigelow winning. First time a woman winning best director and directing the best picture movie. I got nominated and it went on to win best picture. And then Monique winning supporting actress, never saw that coming. And then Christopher Waltz or Weiss, I'm not really sure what his last name is, from Inglourious Basterds, film by Quentin Tarantino. Great film, but now that I think about it, he is possibly the best thing in the film, because he's very cold-hearted in the film, but yet he's his character is numb to the environment. He doesn't see the big picture. But anyways, so when I saw The Hurt Locker had won Best Picture, and she had told me, my jaw had dropped because I was convinced that Avatar was going to win. So a couple days ago, I saw The Hurt Locker, only because they won Best Picture, and I wanted to see what the fuss is about. Great film. Great film. It's not the greatest Best Picture I've seen. One of the greatest Best Pictures I've seen is possibly Rocky and The Departed. The Departed and Lawrence of Arabia. But The Hurt Locker is in the film in itself, so if you haven't seen it, please watch The Hurt Locker. It's based on true stories that happened in Iraq and Afghanistan. But I just want to say congratulations to Sandra Bullock, because I had always liked her ever since I had saw her in Speed. Remember that not so great movie from the summer of 1994 with Keanu Reeves about the bus, the getaway bus that you can't stop on the freeway in Los Angeles. But I had liked her since then, and it was good to see her win, because for all you people out there too, if you don't know this, she was also producer, and she's friends of George Lopez, and she was also producer of the George Lopez show, when George Lopez was running in his original time slot on ABC in the early in this decade. So enough about that. One thing about Avatar I read about today that blew my mind was the fact that it cost $250 million to make. It cost $250 million to make, and so far today I saw the intake is about to pass the. It already passed the billion mark worldwide, but it's about to pass the 800 million mark here in the U.S. 800 million. That's get crazy. I don't know, folks. You tell me let me know what you think about the movie Avatar by James Cameron. A lot of people say it's a pro rainforest, pro tree hugging environmental movie. I don't care what it stands for. I just want to see what the movie's about. I had a chance a couple of weeks ago. We had a chance to go see Avatar in IMAX. The opportunity didn't come up. An opportunity came up to see Anvil, who, by the way, is one of the early '80s metal band from the time of Iron Maiden, AC/DC, and many others. But anyway, we got to meet and we got to see Anvil in concert at the Marquee. Me, Marty, and a couple of buddies, Cliff Campbell, you rock, and Paul, 187. We went to go see Anvil, and then Anvil was nice enough to stick around after the show, and they had like a little meet and greet, and we got to meet Anvil, which was cool, one of my highlights in my life. And if you think that's not a highlight, then you can go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. It was cool meeting Anvil. They're sweet guys, just like they are in the movie Anvil, the documentary. But that was a cool concert. It was cooler to meet them in the flesh, because they act just the same way like they act in the movie. And then also, during the time that we were doing TV, we got to see Alice in Chains at the Dodge Theater in Phoenix, which, by the way, was one of my favorite concerts of all time. That was my fourth time seeing Alice in Chains. Third time with the new singer, though. I was one of the lucky ones. I got to see Alice in Chains back in '93 in April with Marty at the TCC Exhibition Hall, which was underground at the TCC Arena. One of the most scariest nights in my entire life. And believe me, I had a lot of scary nights. But the Alice in Chains concert at the Dodge Theater, it was awesome. It was great. I'm sorry to say this year, and the television call me crazy, will not be attending Coachella this year. If the fucking economy, I mean, they're calling it the Great Recession. You know, I'm feeling the pinch. I know everybody is. Some more than others, but the fact that you're still feeling the pinch. But I sympathize. But it will get better, guys. It will get better. I know the road out there seems long and hard, filled with many obstacles that's in front of your way to get the best things out of life. But it will get better. And if you are one of those people like who I am, who are taking it day by day, appreciating life like you all should, please keep it up. But it's been a while. I'm glad to be back on the air. I missed you guys. And for all you people out there in recovery, let it be alcoholism, sex addiction, coke addiction, gambling, smoking. If you're on the road to sobriety, and if you have yet to do any of the bad things that you associate yourself when you're not sober, then continue on that road. Please. Because in the end, you'll only be sick and tired of being sick and tired. But anyways, I'm signing off. It was great to talk to you guys again. God bless everybody. But I want to be able to say thank you to all you returning veterans from Afghanistan, Iraq, who get to come visit for a while the U.S. stateside, and then they get to leave and report back to duty. So I actually want to be able to say thank you guys and the armed forces. God bless you guys. And Tucson, Arizona, I'm back. I am back with a vengeance. One more thing I want to tell you guys is that, they say they're revamping Rio Nuevo people again. We'll see. But anyways, I'm out, folks. Good to see you guys, and I love you guys. Lates. The Corey Crew.